The other day, I'm in my garage and I find a lizard. Naturally, I feel bad for him. The poor guy came inside probably looking for food or some other necessary means of survival, and he has gotten himself trapped in what is essentially a wasteland. So I opened up the garage door and I let him go outside. And I have this thought that there's really not much else for him out there either. The thought of that endless grind for survival seemed exhausting and pitiable. So I humored this idea of catching him and keeping him in a little tank, believing that I would be doing him a service, that he would no longer need to struggle, no more desperate searches for food or shelter. I would be able to give him all of the bugs that he needed at regularly scheduled intervals. He would be protected from any and all predators. His temperature would always be regulated for his specific needs, and all of this seemed like a more desirable life. But then I really started to think about it. This little lizard has an entire world accessible to him, to adventure through and explore. Within that world is an endless supply of bugs to eat, able to be found practically anywhere. He has the freedom to navigate through every kind of curvature and crevice, participating in the game of the hunt, and experience the satisfaction of digging through the right hiding spot and finding success. Fulfillment in his main drive and focus, reaping the well-earned rewards of his labor. My idea of a good thing is to rip him out of that and put him in a cage, into a lifestyle where he no longer has to do any of that for himself and it's all done for him. Why is that a problem? Well, in a manner of speaking,
T-Rex doesn't want to be fat, he wants to hunt.
This captive lifestyle seems appealing to me because, essentially, it's the cage that I myself am living in. All of the excitement and adventure that he has access to, these are all the things that I have been bred into giving up. I don't have that freedom. My adventures are fabricated. I have enclosed myself in a box, cut off from the divine and healing forces of creation. Because I am being withheld from the real fruits of life in favor of living within this box, I now must go through the most boring, lifeless, soul-draining, and mundane routines, day after day after day, all so that I can be rewarded with this fragile concept in which I have put the entirety of my faith into providing me with the necessary ingredients for life, ingredients that I should be gaining naturally and proactively, although I am unable to do so. Because all of the energy that was meant to be used in such a manner is spent instead on artificial productivity to gain this foundationally bankrupt currency, in which I have no option left but to use to purchase my necessities, which have also been very conveniently provided to me down the same aisles, through the same business establishments, and are as stripped away from all legitimacy as I have been. And because eating is one of the few ways to stimulate myself within this cage, I have become addicted to this processed food replacement. A rare escape from reality in the form of a treat that makes me unhappy, lethargic, unhealthy, and low energy. There are options to exercise, but that has been cyclically extracted, isolated, since I am removed from an active lifestyle where exercise would happen naturally and progressively with my actions and goals. Ripped away from this harmonious nature, along with any and all true motivation outside of pure vanity, it is far more difficult to even work up the nerve. And what's left is this sedimentary prison. Desperate to distract from this, I allow the sorcery of scrying through the reflection of black mirrors to constantly pour images into my brain and my spirit, being fed by an algorithm that has been cleverly and heinously designed with the sole purpose of stealing my attention and my will away from me by any means necessary. It is hardly a choice any longer, as I have become a slave to this system of programming that has altered my brain chemistry to become hopelessly dependent on the consumption of its never-ending content, most of which is empirically in service to the destruction of everything that is good and sacred. And all that's left is sleep. And how depressing it is to find that so many of us, when we're asked what we like to do, default to this answer of sleep or eat. Because we are so understimulated and simultaneously so exhausted. This low energy lifestyle steals even the energy that we do have. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. I'd like to believe this will end, that there has to be more to life than this. It's what I tell myself and lean on in times of despair and absolute terror when I see how far away I am from love of any kind, whether it be for myself, for my life, for those around me, and most especially from true love, from God. We are running as fast as we can away from Him, away from truth, thinking we're doing ourselves a favor. And the further we go, the more walls are built up around us, the more freedom is taken away. We have consistently continued putting on further layers of clothing after the fall of Adam and Eve. And despite my initial thought at the beginning of all of this, that putting a lizard in a cage would give him a better life, the truth is that I absolutely hate life in a cage. It is no life at all. Not for a lizard, nor a hamster, or a bird, and especially not for us. God created us to be free. There is true fulfillment through freedom. Not that His love wouldn't be present for us no matter where we are. He's always going to love us and provide for us. But that doesn't take away the fact that we are living a kind of life that is so far away from anything close to the one the Lord Himself intended for us and is calling us to. Our existence in this creation is a gift. It was given to each of us with a purpose. I can't tell you what it's meant to look like for sure, but I do know that it is meant to be greater than this. Now, I'm not at all saying that we need to give up the modern world and go live like cavemen. I'm only trying to demonstrate the point that our lives and focus have strayed tremendously from God's intention. How do we make it right? What does that look like? I truly don't know. Our only concern right now should be taking steps towards the Lord, building a relationship with Him so that He can reveal to us what our lives are meant to become. There are no earthly guarantees about what that is, but the beauty is God's character, revealed by Jesus as a loving Father, telling us not to worry, telling us that His plans are prosperous, that if we have faith and step in, we will accomplish all of the righteous things that we are scared to try. We're always happy for animals that become pets, knowing they no longer need to expend effort for their lives. But how rare it is to stop and think that what if actually living a full life, with their efforts exhausted in pursuit of fulfillment and finding it, is a far better life than the one we offer in a cage. Life becomes automated, and the world in technology is only moving further into that, where a reality that AI does everything for us has never been more realistic. And we have shamefully given ourselves over to that, digging ourselves further into the mulch, so afraid to leave the cage that we are trying to hide ourselves deeper within it so that when the time comes and we no longer have the choice to leave, it is too late. And what's so despicable is that we know that we are destroying ourselves. Many can push this down as far as it can go, living in ignorance, and it so desperately wants to find its way out. Do not let fear hold us from the Lord. Do not let fear keep us from love. It is our fear that makes us not trust the Lord, and trust instead that disaster will fall, that we must give in to comfort. If we don't know God, we don't know ourselves. God is infinitely good, and He is welcoming us to join Him in that infinite goodness, to unite our life to it. He promises it is the only way to truly live, and He will not let us down. When God promises, He means it. He is perfection, including His word. I don't know what it will look like, and that is what keeps me in fear from truly surrendering. But the more I trust Him and attempt to know Him, the more He makes Himself known, and the more beautiful and exciting life is revealed to be. And I would trade this life in a cage for even a fraction of that freedom.